This is good
I'm
content.
starting.
Hey YouTube, welcome to our channel. My name is Shellanna and I'm here with,
Shoshanna.
and this is the first episode of Talk with My Sister, and today we are going to be talking about
Karen Soho. So if you guys have been watching the news or anything like that, you will notice that Miya Ponsetto has dominated the airwaves with her assault, essentially, of Keyon Harrold in the Arlo Soho Hotel. We also had an interview recently with Gayle King. So to kind of like be aware of what we're going to talk about, maybe you should go read that article or watch that interview because it's entertaining.
to say the least. What did you think, like, how did you first hear about this case? Like, what were your thoughts about it when you first saw it? Because I know when I first saw it, I actually saw the video with it. So how did you first hear about it?
The incident occurred December 22nd, or December 26th, sorry, of 2020. To be honest, I don't remember hearing about it in like the ending of December. Maybe I did, but the fact that the ending of 2020 to the start of 2021 has been so chaotic, maybe I did. But for sure, the incident happened December 26th, and I just remember people being like, the Karen Soho, the Karen Soho. And essentially it's this woman that like assaulted a child, saying that he stole her phone. And then it came out that she left it in an Uber. So initially from the get-go, it was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's my initial, like, how I heard about it, and like was just like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah, because when I first saw it, so I was actually seeing the video of this crazy girl attacking this kid, and I was just like, because I don't know if a statement came out about this whole incident, and I don't know if she was trying to lie about it, but to actually see the video of what she was actually doing was like, oh my gosh, she's attacking this kid that she has no clue about in the lobby. Like, it almost looked like a tackle, like a football tackle that she went into, to get her phone from this kid.
Yeah, so initially I don't think the video from the hotel was out, which was like the worser video, for lack of better words. Initially his dad, Keyon Harrold, the older Grammy Award winning jazz musician, had a video from his phone about the incident, which I believe he posted to his Instagram, and that's how we initially had the like visual to this incident. And it was just this girl going like bonkers about her cell phone, and like you can see her kind of like trying to get like around the hotel manager to get at this kid. And so at first when we saw this, she was like, I was like the one that was assaulted, I was the one that was pushed, victim, woe is me, and stuff like that. And it was just like, okay, like what's going on? And then lo and behold, the hotel security camera came out, or video came out, and it's literally her like football tackling this kid over a cell phone, which is like insane to me.
Yeah, and she's almost still trying to play the victim, because even in the Gayle interview, you see where because she's like, oh, I'm such a sweet girl, and Gayle was like, would a sweet person like attack someone like that? And she was like, well, the dad, he pushed me and pulled my hair. And it's just like, yeah, because you tackled his son. But she's like almost still trying to play the victim even after all these videos are out there.
Yeah, my favorite quote, I'm gonna put it like on a shirt or like on a hat, ironically. You're a sweet girl. Like, no, you're not. Like, that's insane. Like, I've lost so many cell phones. Never in my life did I think to like accost someone around me thinking that they took it. I would be so nervous to even go up to them saying like, oh my goodness, like you have my cell phone, give it back or whatever, let alone put my hands on them. So I thought, you're not super sweet. You're trying to pretend to be super sweet now, which in your interview, you don't come off that way. You were rude, you were condescending. You didn't dress appropriately for this interview to like argue your point. Wearing a daddy hat, like what? What? Like, no one is gonna take you as super sweet innocent. They're gonna be like, you're entitled, like you about yourself, you're rude. her Gail, I was just like, I don't understand how Gail didn't come out and just like yell at her.
Like, bitch, what?
Right? Like, so rude. I think that was like, and that's sad because I feel like that was like the highlight of the interview was Pepper being like, wait, what did she do? Like, rude.
Yeah, and I think because so when the incident was happening, she was actually at the front desk and they were waiting to like play back the video so she could possibly see how where her phone was taken or something. And she took it, she's like, oh, I was doing my job by basically confronting people that were going out of the hotel. And it's not like she confronted everyone because Gail was repeatedly like, did you confront everyone? And it's not like she confronted everyone. She just tackled that kid, but I guess she confronted another person. And it would be interesting to know the race of that person as well.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely we read in an article somewhere that she had confronted one person before she went up to the Heralds, but we don't know who. I don't think anyone's come forward and said, oh yeah, she came after me. No offense, if I was that person, I would try to distance myself from the situation altogether because she's crazy. And it literally came to light. There was just this kid. And then also too, you're saying like, you know, the hotel, I think they're a little bit at fault too for enabling her. I felt like Keyon Harrold, the older, said like he felt like they were catering more to her than they were to him. Like he at that moment was a paying customer at the Arlo Hotel, which is a really, really nice hotel. And instead of being like, you know, this is our guest, let's protect them, they were just almost entertaining Miya for whatever reason, which is like, why? Like, even if she was a paying customer way back when, she wasn't at that moment. Like, she was not your priority at that moment. She could have accosted anyone in that hotel. And in like, you know, I feel like the hotel kind of is at fault too for that.
And I feel like, what do you think that the hotel could do to justify how they weren't as involved or with the incident?
I don't know exactly, but I know for a fact that these hotels have security on speed dial. The fact that they did not have a security guard there within like minutes of her acting out is I know it's COVID. I know people have gotten let go and stuff like that, but I don't believe security is part of that. Like, even if your security detail is smaller, you still have security on the premises. Been called. The manager, I don't think did a good job in handling it. I know in the video, like, try to keep the parties apart for the most part, but the fact that she was able to get past the manager to the child is like, you didn't do your job. And no offense if the tables were reversed, police or if someone of African American descent was the aggressor in the situation, police and security would have been there like ASAP. And we know that because we've just, the last year, like, especially when they use your skin color as a weapon, they will find a way to make sure that the proper authorities are there.
Yeah, I think that it's their fault. I think that they should face some consequences as well, just because he was attacked in your establishment and you guys should have handled the situation differently. Because in any other setting, you know, if someone's attacked in your area, like your business, you're partially at fault if you don't take the proper precautions.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And like you said, like, they were trying to look for the video to see like where she left the phone or like where it was stolen. Do you know how many times like if you lost something and you went to the establishment, like, can we see the video? Do they ever show you the video?
No.
They never. Always, we over or like some excuse, and I'm like, all of a sudden now she's at the front desk waiting to like have this video played. Like, what? I've lost so many things places, and all of a sudden it's just like, it could have happened 2 minutes ago and they're like, oh, the video's played over, oh, we don't have it, oh, we can't show it, like, and she magically has like the magic word to be like, play this video.
Yeah, and I think like there's people, I don't know who these people are, that feel bad for her. But I think that because of like just the way she acted in that video, from the stuff you read from her past, you feel that she's almost lived this entitled life where she doesn't face consequences and she continues this behavior. So it just ties into like, she needs to face consequences for this, because it seems like this is something that's always going to keep happening in her life, whether it's her dealing with her like DUIs or dealing with her interaction with people. She's always going to be a problem in society until she faces real consequences for her actions.
I absolutely agree. So I was like reading an article and someone was like, can we get over this? She made a mistake, like let it go. And it's just like, no. She's continually having this pattern of making mistakes and clearly not learning from them. So no, we can't let it go, because then she's going to continue to do this. Also, like the language that everyone uses, well, she didn't know that he was a kid and stuff like that. As an adult, you and yourself just don't go and attack other people when you think that they may have something or whatever the case may be. Call in people that are trained to actually do that. Like, you don't yourself restrain that person. Like, call in someone else. Just earlier on the 10th of January, the video was released about one of her other arrests, and it was just like, you know, I'm just a girl, you're arresting a girl, there's gang members out there killing it. And she's very much like deflect. Like, everyone else is doing something wrong. Like, why are you coming for me? Well, Miya, we're coming for
DUI.
Miya, you're doing something wrong. Like, it's not like they're just like nitpicking at things. It's like you're doing these like incredibly big mistakes that are wrong. Like, you have to be held accountable for your actions. Like, I don't get it. And I just feel like knowing that her mom has been arrested with her for her incident in like a Beverly Hills hotel for assaulting someone as well. Like, it's just like, we would normally be like, oh, she has no home training. And it's like, clearly she has no home training. You've been arrested with your mother for doing like similar stuff. Like, you know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And unfortunately, she has to deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah. And then what do you...
Our mother.
What happened?
That I know for a fact our mother would not allow that.
Exactly. She'd be ready to call the police on us before the police could find us.
Interviews with Shelly Busca.
But what do you think about people who are saying, like her attorney was saying, oh, this is a mental health crisis. You know, she's having a mental health crisis and this is why she's acting out in this way. What do you say towards that?
Okay. So her attorney in that interview was laughable. She was just like blank gaze, like staring. I feel like the only time she ever piped up in that little snippet that we saw, the 6-minute snippet that we saw, was when she told like Gail to shut up or to quiet down or to like, she's like, enough, Gail. And then she was like, stop. And I was like, oh, you move. Like,
you're not just standing in there.
Who are you? Because you're not helping her. Sort of interfered sooner than that, but hey, that's who you pay for. That's what you pay for. I believe in mental health. Like, I believe there are issues in mental health. Is Miya that? No. Is she going to use it to her defense? Absolutely. Is it going to get her like a lesser charge? Probably. I think that now the lawyer is saying like, oh, it's an anxiety attack. And I was like, I know you have anxiety. And it can show in many different forms. Obviously, like, we're not doctors. You're closer to the medical professional than I am. But I don't think it should be used as an excuse or a scapegoat to get out of this. Like, Miya is a full-fledged adult. She knew what she was doing wrong. And now I think she's just trying to backtrack from that.
I think... So. Like you said, like, I take mental health serious, and I, you know, when people have these mental health crises, I don't know if that's the right word, and stuff, I understand like they could be like a completely different person, but the only problem is that it was an attack on a person, and unfortunately, yes, you may have a mental health problem, but you still need to be accounted for your actions during this time. And I just think she still needs punishment for it. If they send her to a mental health clinic or something, or like an in-house stay or something, okay, but it's hard to say, because you feel for people in the mental health, you know that they act differently. It's just the fact that I think as Black people, we're just tired of constantly being attacked. So when another story comes out, yes, she could have a mental health crisis, but we're tired of being attacked from white people. And it's just that, okay, like, it's just, we're just tired of it, you know? We're tired. And we don't want that to be an escape route. We want them to learn from their actions so that they could start treating us like the humans that we are.
Exactly. And it's so funny that you say that, you know, we are tired of being treated like this by white people. Miya isn't even fully white. I'm not sure about her mom's ethnicity, but her dad is Puerto Rican. So at the very least, she is, you know, somewhat of a minority, or at least half of a minority, I should say. And Refinery 29 had this great article that came out, and it was just like, Latinx can be a quote unquote Karen. Like, it doesn't necessarily just have to be that you're white, blonde hair, blue eyes. You know, you can be a Karen as well. You can be racist as well. Miya is, like, you know, I'm not sure if she herself claims that she's Puerto Rican or not, you know, that's on her and stuff like that. But you can be of Latin descent or Spanish descent and be a Karen. So yeah, we're just tired of the treatment. Like, you know, the assumptions that, you know, something went wrong. If you are the Black person in that situation, you're automatically at fault, when that's clearly not the case. Keyon had his own cell phone. It was his. As far as I know, it was like an Apple phone, which everyone and their mom has an iPhone. So I think that because this one kid had a phone similar to yours, that was like clearly in a case that he said his was in a case. So like, he stole your phone and then magically had the exact case to put on your phone. Like, just common sense and rationalization, like, was not there at that moment. And I know the moment was heated. You don't really necessarily think, you don't think right away, but yeah, no, that was just insane. A lot of people are saying that she's lucky that it wasn't like, I'm sorry, I don't have kids, but if it was my future kids or like my niece or nephew, like, it would have went a whole different way. There's no way you're accosting my child like that and getting away with it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, oh, it, like, insane. No, not happening.
In this day and age, you want to do that. Trust me. When you walk in the store and you know someone's looking at you because you're Black or something, or someone's treating you different because you're Black, you want to act out. But a lot of times we don't, just because we don't want to be profiled as that type of person.
The angry Black person.
Yeah, so it was just, it's so hard to say, like, if I was in that situation, I would have beat her up. Like, I think because I was in a similar situation, not a similar situation, but I was in a situation with Darian. Darian's a Black male. He's my fiance and stuff like that. And I was like, mind you, I feel like Darian's the more like tougher one. I was going off on, like, I was like, I want this guy's supervisor, like, you know, screaming at this guy. And Darian was like, no, let's just get out of here. You know, so it's just, I think it's when you're in that situation, you would see how you act. Because yeah, I would go off, but.
Fight or flight and stuff like that. And you're absolutely right. Like, look on the outside looking, and you can say, look, I would do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And then you're actually in the situation. Hey, we may be in complete shock that this is even happening. It may be like, you know, at that point, like, laughable, like, is she serious? You know, and we laugh it off. Like, we just don't know. But I just think it's absolutely mind-boggling to me that happened.
Yeah, and so what do you think? So they were talking about how they had the arraignment, I believe, and they were saying how they never mentioned that the victim was a Black male, so they're not going to take it as a hate crime. What do you feel about that?
I think it was a tactic by Keyon, the Harrold's lawyer, to see how the defense for Miya would play into, like, this is it about race, if they tried to omit that. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, if Miya side kept bringing up, like, oh, it's not about race, it's not about race, and they're like, well, we never stated it was about race, then it's kind of like a good chess play in, like, no, you keep bringing it up, so clearly it was an issue. Like, you know, if it wasn't about it, why do you need to say it? Because we didn't say it. But also, it does need to be on the forefront. Like, I feel like if this was a white kid with his dad, it would have been like almost zero chance that Miya would have, like, accosted them about her cell phone being taken. So I can see both sides. I mean, obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a law degree. I've never studied law in my life, as much as I like to talk and argue.
Yes, she does.
I like, you know, I can see it being a really great strategy in their defense, but I can also see it being like, no, like this was a part of it. This is obviously a reason why she accosted him. Like, why not bring it up? So, I mean, we'll only see how it plays out, you know, as a trial or case goes on.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel that with hate crimes and things like that, I feel, as far as making it a hate crime, I feel as a Black person, we feel like, I feel that it was racial intent. Like you said, if it was a person, a white person, I don't think she would have reacted the same way towards that person. However, I feel that because I feel it's hard to prove. Like like how I said, when you walk in a store and you just know someone's staring at you, it's not like you have evidence like, oh, they're racist. You know, you don't have the full picture, but you just know in your feeling, because you've experienced so many times that you know it's a racial, and you know that they're stereotyping you and things like that. So I just feel that it's so hard to prove, because it's not like she blatantly said you N-word or something, or she has like a whole bunch of I hate Black people on her social media to prove like, oh, she's against Black people. But it's like we know you went after him because he's Black and he had a similar phone to you, so you just assume he stole your phone. You know, I just think that it's something just so hard to prove. So I hope that she's able to get a decent punishment. But I don't know if they're ever gonna get the, you know, it was a hate crime.
For sure. And we'll see how it plays out. I think at this point of our reporting, I'm not sure if the entire Gail interview came out, and it'll be interesting to kind of see if like she redeems herself from the snippet. Like, you know, does she go up from there? Obviously, when you have these like trailers of an interview, essentially, it's just like they try to get like the most salacious and juiciest part to get people to want to watch the interview. I mean, I'm gonna watch it anyway. It looks like a train wreck. But I don't do like, do you think she's gonna redeem herself? Like, I don't think so. This is who Miya Ponsetto is.
I don't think she's gonna redeem herself in this. I think what it's gonna be is that we're just gonna see a stupid girl trying to like justify why she went after the kid, like she was doing in that small little clip and stuff like that. And I just think it's gonna be another story of a Karen that happened and is gonna go to like, in a few months, another Karen's gonna pop up. Like, it's just gonna be the same cycle of stuff. I just really hope that she gets the proper punishment. I know I asked you this before, what you think would be like a good punishment for her. And so what is that? What do you think would be a good punishment for her?
Obviously, for the assault, the attack, and everything like that, she should serve jail time or whatever that is, like whatever the punishment for that is, she should, like she did. And it is a child, like it is a kid. Just making a mention, it doesn't matter how tall he was, you know, he's a teenager, like he's still a child. Like, I feel like people try to, for lack of better words, unchild Black children, like, you know, they're made to look and treated like adults when they're not adults. He's 14, he's a kid. And she's 22, she's an adult. She should know better. In addition to, clearly this is like a reoccurring thing, whether before her incidents were about race or not, she does have anger issues. She does have like, you know, she does lash out. She had a DUI before. Like, she needs therapy, she needs rehab, and she needs to learn some anti-racism. She needs anti-racism training. It's like she needs to know to not have these like ideas and thoughts in her head that like, oh, something is stolen of mine, I'm going to attack the Black family that's in here, you know, and stuff like that. Where I would want to see the video. There's probably tons of other people of walking around, and it was just like, I feel like she just like pigeonholed on this one person or this one family.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I agree with you. I think she deserves some jail time, but she also needs some like mental serious help, because the girl is not rational in any decision she seems to be making in her life. And I think that has something to do with her entitlement. And I don't know if her family comes from money and she's like basically just pays out of every situation she's in, but I think she really does need to face some serious consequences.
And I just want to note too, like, we've both been 22. We're obviously like past that now and stuff. I remember being like a crazy just out of college, like you're a young adult and like whatever the case may be, but you still have your head on straight where it's like, you know, right from wrong, you know, um, we know not to drunk drive. We know to respect authority. We know, and like I said, I've lost many cell phones. I know not to accost people when they lost something, you know, and stuff like that, and not to think that every time it was like stolen or something like that. Take accountability for what you know, what you did and stuff. I've been 22, but you know right from wrong. Like,
Yeah. And I feel like this is not the situation because a lot of people, they get out of situations by paying fines. Like, I don't think this is a situation you should just be able to pay out of. I think that, yeah, I think this is something you need to sit through a class, like you said, for like racism and things like that. Like, this is something you need to really work on to become better. Because I think a lot of these people, they have money, they do whatever they want, and they pay out of these situations and they basically learn nothing from it.
we've seen many instances in people getting away with things because of their skin color, because of who they are. You know, judges agreeing like, oh, they don't know any better. Oh, it was a mistake. When it comes to the case of affluenza, he's too rich to know better. Or the Stanford swimmer who did horrible things to this girl and ended up only serving like 3 months because they didn't want it to ruin his life. And it's not fair. These victims are essentially like going through this emotional trauma all over again because the people that are supposed to be held accountable are not really held accountable. So I'm looking forward to seeing the full interview. I don't think she'll redeem herself. And then to seeing this trial happen and seeing what actually really happens from this. If anything changes, you know, we'll see. What about you?
I don't have anything else to say about it, but I want to challenge us and challenge our viewers to really follow through with this case. Because I think in today's world, we really, you know, we see a story, it's hyped for like a week or two, and then it dies down, and then we're like, damn, what happened with that case? Like, I really want us, you know, to follow through and follow the case to the end to see what actually ends up happening, and if there's something we could do, like sign a petition or call or something like that, that we do that, just to play our part in the whole messed up system we live in. But just, yeah, like I want to challenge us to do that, because a lot of times like the Central Park thing, like I don't know what happened with that, because I blame myself. Like it was hyped for a week. I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Look at her dragging the dog. And then I don't know what happened to the lady after.
For sure. And who knows, this may be like an additional conversation between us. Like after the full interview comes out, it may not. We might, you know, come back to this like way down the line once the like case is done and over with, and kind of like see if our thoughts or ideas have changed, or like we're happy with the outcome, or like about the outcome and everything like that. I definitely want to hear what our viewers have to say. Like, you know, definitely comment down below. Like, what do you think? Do you think we're wrong? Do you think we're right? Do you agree, disagree? Like, you know, what did you think about the whole case? Have you heard about this case? Like, there's still people going around being like, what? Like, I haven't heard about it. How do you not know about this?
Yeah.
You know, this is like a New York thing, but like you're in Texas, like, you know, and you heard about it and stuff. And so is it like, does no one care? Is like whatever, or is it, you know, a big thing or a big deal? And, you know, anything that we could do different or say different, or just any of your 2 cents.
Yeah, so definitely comment below and let us know. But I think we are done with this conversation for now. We'll see what happens with this Soho Karen.
Yeah.
And how this plays out.
I'm talking about another Karen, unfortunately, but it's just the world we live in, right?
Yes. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll definitely see you guys in our next conversation. Bye.
There. Bye.